What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Gonna get to these charts tonight. Mr. Bless, what's going on? I see you. Yeah, we up in here tonight. Oh shoot, everything good. Shoot, we gonna look at some pairs. If you have anything you want me to mark up, let me know. And also, what we gonna do? If we catch something tonight, if we see something that's worthy of taking, hey, we gonna take it. Yeah. We're gonna give everybody about a couple of more minutes. Let's see who all is gonna come through tonight. Hey, you guys, go ahead and put it in the chat. Hey, let me know. Hey, what's going on, Steph? Hey, let me know how y'all did for NFP last week. I hope everybody was I hope everybody didn't lose any money or anything like that. Yeah, we're gonna get started in 1 more minute, y'all. All right, y'all. Oh yeah, good deal. Hey y'all, we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and get started. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this day, Lord. We want to thank you for life, health, and strength. Lord, we want to thank you for all the blessings that you bestowed upon us. Lord, we pray that anything that's said on today will help someone financially. We pray that everybody is getting value out of the Pips Academy. We pray that it's a blessing to everybody. That's all we want to be. We just want to be a blessing and help, help someone else become financially free. Lord, I want to thank everybody who's going to be joining tonight, and I want to thank everybody. Hope everybody is safe. Continue to be safe, and we know that this resource is used to glorify you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. Yesterday we didn't do a live session yesterday because it was Mother's Day, and I wanted to make sure that we were able to give that time and devotion to all of our mothers out there. And so I didn't want to take that away from them. I didn't want to take that away from them. So I decided to do this live today, and during our Asia session. And if we can actually catch something, hey, that'd be great. So you guys, let's go ahead and jump into it. So we're right now we're sitting in Monday, and we can see, earlier today there really was, not really too much action during the New York session, but we did have GBP gave us an orange folder at 8 a.m. this morning. Tonight we look like, might be smooth sailing or coasting tonight. Looking into tomorrow, for the London session, we look like we might have, just some yellow folders and things like that. Going into the noonday tomorrow, we got FOMC around 12 noon and 2 p.m. So we definitely might see some action tomorrow up in the market for any USD pairs. Looking at Wednesday, that's looking like where the action normally is, actually is going to actually really start for this week. One of the things I start to notice, you guys, very rarely do I really take a trade on a Sunday or a Monday, and sometimes not even Tuesdays, but I've noticed that, the market, it really kind of settles into coming out of the weekend, and then the latter part of Tuesday is when it really started jumping. But I will say I did take an impulse trade on gold yesterday, and I'll show you guys what I saw when I actually took it. And it wasn't even really planned, but I had an alert there, and when it hit my alert, I'll show you guys exactly what happened. But as you can see, continuing on what we're saying, 7:30 Central Time for USD pairs on Wednesday, we got some news or some action. 10 p.m. that night on Wednesday, we got NZD. We got some inflation news on NZD, so we might see a little action on NZD at 10 p.m. Central Time Wednesday night. We got some GBP pairs that might do a little something during the London session. And as we can see, on Thursday around 7:30, we have some action on USD pairs as well. Let's check out Friday. Friday might be a little mellow, but we still might see a little bit of action on Friday with USD pairs as well. Hey, you guys, also, if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up, go ahead and put them in the chat or put them in the Discord, and we'll be happy to get into them. So let's go ahead and jump into it, you guys. Let's go ahead and jump into it and see what's going on this week. All right, so we'll start it off with GU. Let's look at GU. So on a weekly time frame, let's kind of see exactly what's going on. Let's see. So we're still ultimately in a down structure. As we can see, we have, let's just start right here. We have a high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then I don't know if this will get all the way down here, but we're, like I said, we're still in down structure. So until we actually break this here on a weekly perspective, we're still bearish. Okay, but let's go ahead and look at the daily and see what we're actually looking at from a daily perspective. And not too much has changed from last week. We're still, like I said, we're still bearish, but we can see right now that we have a daily demand zone, actually a 4-hour demand zone here that price is actually it came down to this area and actually wicked off of. So if we drop down to the 4-hour and kind of see what exactly is going on, let's see. So we dropped off here. We had a lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we actually had a break of structure. Wait, hold on. Lower high. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we had a break of structure. I end up doing my break of structure on the 15-minute because that's the time frame in which I was actually looking at when I saw this break of structure. So as you can see, we had, in essence, somewhat equal highs in this area. So we had a break of structure and we had a retest. So if we look at, let's go ahead and make this bigger so you guys can see it. So if we look at the retracement that we have on this on the 15-minute, we can see that it's well within our golden zone, above the 50%. So we're resting right in between the 61.8 and the 78.6. So we see that it came down to this area. It didn't quite close this imbalance all the way, which is right here. However, I do see that as this price action here came up, you can kind of sort of look at it as this was sort of a closure, so to speak. Because I know price sometimes is a little weird the way it kind of does that. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. And so it came down to this area here and kind of closed this area out. But as we can see, it gave an impulse. But let's drop down to a smaller time frame to see if we had a break of structure anywhere. Because this is our high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And we had a break of structure in this area. But you can see, if you look at this, we had an inverted head and shoulders in this area right here when price kind of gave us a little small shoot up. Had an inverted head and shoulders. From there, price shot up. However, it never broke this area here. It never broke that high. And then it started to give us another pullback. Hold on, let me go back to the 15 minute. Okay. So this was our break of structure here. It came back and then it came up to this area here, but it never broke this, it never took out this liquidity up in this area here. So one of the things I think price may come back down to this area to close this imbalance, or it may come down to kind of respect these this demand level down here. So we'll just have to wait and see exactly what happens. And then we also have a supply zone here. We have a supply zone here, and if price breaks this supply zone, and give me a small retest, I probably will ride this up, and I'll show you guys exactly where we can possibly ride this particular pair up. So if we drop to the 4-hour time frame and we look at market structure on here, because we can tell that this was a lower low, so we're due for a lower high. So if we go ahead and throw our fibs from the 4-hour, we can see right where this imbalance is here. This is right in confluence with our 50. And then we also have another imbalance here, that is right in between our 78.6 and 61.8. So if it breaks this supply zone, give me a small retest, I'll probably ride it up to this area here. Because if we can ride it up from this supply zone here, let's just say we got a retest somewhere in here, right up to this 50%, that's about 67 pips or so. So if we ride it up to the 61.8, that's 112 pips. Up to this area here, that's about 130 pips. So one of the things that we can do is we probably can set double alerts for this to say, okay, if price breaks this supply zone here, GU breaks supply zone. If GU breaks this supply zone, then we can possibly look for a retest that can possibly bounce to the upside. However, if price comes down and breaks this low here, then I'll be looking for price. I'm gonna actually remove this because it's already been filled. If price comes down here, I'll be looking for price to possibly bounce off of this imbalance or this demand zone down in this area here, that we can possibly ride it back up. And then from there, what we can do, we can possibly ride it up to, you know, maybe the supply zone here. Like I said, this liquidity hasn't been taken out, so we possibly can ride it up to that area as well. Or to be conservative, we can ride it up to this bank level of 1.24 thousand, which is right before the liquidity area. So we'll just wait and see. However, I do want to put an alert right in this area here. GU approaching POI. And so I'll actually put on here, that way you guys can see what the alerts are. This alert is, let me see, GU, let me see, alert at 1.23161. That way, if you guys I want to set these alerts as well. You'll be able to see them. Alert at 1.23.824. Okay, so we'll set those alerts for GU. So that's pretty much what we're looking at for GU. Let's go ahead and go to the next pair. Let's go to EU. So with this pair right here, you guys, with EU, this pair has been moving within a Wyckoff accumulation since about the 28th or so. So as you guys can see, this is an accumulation. So what I'm expecting price to actually go up. But if I go ahead and remove this for a second, let me go ahead and take this off. Put all this up in there as well. Okay, let's look at the big picture first and see why this accumulation is in confluence with what I'm looking at. So as we notice on EU, we can tell that we're in down structure as well. We got a high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Okay. Now this isn't confirmed as a lower high yet until this low here is broken. Okay, so this is our last potential lower high. Okay, so right now, one of the things that possibly could happen with this particular pair is, let's see, if we throw our fibs on here, you know, we can look at price possibly coming up, creating a lower high up in this area here, and then drop back down. I do have a demand zone down here, and the reason being is because with this accumulation that I have marked up, a lot of times you could potentially get a spring, and so the spring needs something to bounce off of. And so I noticed that there was a demand zone. It was let's see, it's actually what did I find as demand zone? This is I didn't mark the time frame. Let's see, because I want to make sure that we're in confluence with what we're looking at. So let's do a bar replay right here to actually see exactly where this demand zone was. Let's drop to the 3 hour. Let's see, we have one here, but I don't think this was the demand zone that I was looking at. No, it was one that was actually lower. I'm not sure if that's the one that I was actually looking at. Let's see, because I didn't put the time frame on there. But I do see a small imbalance in this area though. Okay, it don't go no further than that. So that possibly was the demand zone that I was looking at. So what we possibly can see, price may come down here and give us a spring off of this, but if not, if it breaks this red line here, give us a retest, then I'll be looking for this to kind of go back up. Yeah, I'll be looking for this to kind of go back up to actually create that lower high on the 4 hour time frame. So one of the things that we can possibly do with this, and it's a lot of noise up in here right now, which is why I didn't really take anything. And so the market is not necessarily clear, because as you can see, we had a break of structure on the 1 hour, but look at how this was. It was a break of structure, it pulled back, and then it came a little bit further, and then it came all the way up to mitigate this supply zone up in this area here. From there, it gave us a drop, but it never took out this liquidity here, and then it started to come back up to this area. So we still have liquidity down here that needs to be taken out. If we look at it from here, that's the wrong one. So we still have liquidity that needs to be taken out here. But however, I still want to see possibly price to come down here and wick off this demand zone and then shoot up. And if it does that, we might see something like this. Wick off of this, break the support lines, give us a test, and then from this test, we can actually ride this thing all the way up, possibly to the resistance lines. Because between the resistance and support lines, that's our trading range. And so this entire area is about 84, 85 pips. That's if we get something, you know, like that. But being that price is kind of up here, I'm not sure what it'll do. It might bounce off of this supply zone here that we can see that it's approaching. But if it breaks this supply zone, then I think it might give us a retest and it might be out of there. But we'll see exactly what the market gives us. So what we can do, we can set an alert here. EU breaks supply zone. Yeah, we'll just say supply zone. And if price starts to come back down, I'll put something up under this price action here. That way I can see if it'll maybe give us a test to go back to the downside. EU showing signs of bearish movement or something. Okay. Hey, you guys, there's another pair that I want to look at. I want to look at UJ because I saw one of our users took a trade on EJ and he took a nice sniper entry on that particular pair. EJ was a pair that I used to trade some time ago, and so I actually want to go back to it and kind of look at it because I like the way EJ moves. It's actually a smooth pair. So let me go ahead and put these speech bubbles on here for you guys to know the alerts, which is 1.05498. Hey, you guys, and also just want to reiterate, if you guys have any pairs that you want to see marked up, please by all means put them in the chat. I'll be happy to mark them up. 1.06,000. Okay. All right. Let's move on to USD CAD. Okay. Let's look at this on a weekly time frame. So with this pair is bullish currently right now. We can see we have a low, we have a higher high, higher low, and this is probably coming up here to this weekly supply zone here to tap this and then possibly come down to give us a higher low. So this can potentially be a really good trade because this is showing on actually the daily or the weekly. This is showing a huge distribution schematic as far as Wyckoff. And so with a distribution, what it does is it'll start from the bottom, formulate, give a fake out, which is a UTAD. So we can possibly see that we might have a UTAD right up in this area here, which is the opposite of the spring on an accumulation. So this is what I want to see. I want to see it tap the supply zone, give us a possible breakup structure on the 15-minute, and a retest coming back down. So as we can see, if we drop to the 15-minute, let's see, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So right now, this area here is our possible higher low. I'm a little skeptical because I don't have wicks. I don't have wicks until it gets to this point here. And so I actually want to see this come up to the supply zone. So I'm going to set an alert here because if we can catch an entry off the supply zone going all the way down, we can literally sit in that for a while, you guys, and get some really good pips. Let's see, USD CAD approaching weekly supply. Okay. And this is alert at 1.30529. Okay. Because if we look at this, let's go to the 4 hour and kind of look at this. Because as we can see on the 4 hour, we have higher high, higher low, higher high. We had a slight liquidity grab here, and then price gave us an impulse to break this last high here. And so basically with something like this, I'll be looking for like if we took our fibs on this, so a pullback will be somewhere in this area, which if we measure this, I mean, just getting down to the 50%, that's 133 pips. But coming down to the 61.8, that's 172 pips. But let's just look at the pattern in which the fibs were actually, following, so to speak. So let's just say if we took this swing from here to here and look at this pullback, we can see that price is respecting like the 78.6. So we possibly can see a pullback all the way to the 78.6, which is a lot of pips. But let's just say if we looked at this swing here, this one here, all the way down to this one, this was here. This actually retraced more than 100%, which I don't know if this will do that unless we get a break of structure and it decides to go to the downside, which is possible because now we're on a weekly time frame and the weekly has to create a higher low, which has a lot of room to go. So let's just say if we looked at this from a, even a daily perspective, let's just say we got this higher high, higher low, and let's just say we took a fibs from this swing low down here all the way up to this area here, and we're looking at the retracement just to get to the 50% from this area from a weekly standpoint. That's 277 pips to the 50%, and we're looking at 366 pips to this area. But if you look here, well, let's just, to the 78.6, that's about 464 pips. So in this area, we see this last down candle before the up move. So this is a huge possibility that price will come back to this huge weekly supply. And so if we measure the area, let's just see that total area there. That's about 370 some pips. Like I said, you guys, if we get a break of structure on the 15 minute and then we get that retest, I would definitely take an entry and I will ride that all the way down, at least to take out this liquidity area here on the 50%. And so if we get something like that, I'm definitely going to be shouting in the chat, hey, you guys, we got a potential entry, or we have an entry on USD CAD. And like I said, I definitely believe that this will definitely give us a nice pullback where we can actually catch some really good pips on this particular pair. Let's look at this right now just to see what's going on with this. So I can see that it's breaking this area here. Like I said, I don't really know if this is the last lower, higher low. Now I do have an indicator that helps with that. Let's see. And so this possibly could be that. But like I said, this don't have any wicks, so I'm not all the way sure 100%, but we'll see. We'll see what it does. Let's see something, you guys. So let's just say if we said this was our break of structure here I'm on the 5 minute. Let me go to the 15 minute. Okay, yeah, let's just say if this was our break of structure on the 15 minute. If we can get a pullback in this area let's see. If we can get price to come back in this area, I'll literally say, if we can get price to come back, you know, kind of above this wick here, then that'll be, you know, we possibly can look at, you know, an entry to come down. But I would want to see it come up to the supply zone if this is the pullback. I don't know. I want to kind of be careful because, like I said, I wanted to actually make it up to this weekly supply zone. So we'll go ahead and set an alert in this area here, just to kind of see exactly where price can possibly take us to. USD CAD approaching POI. Okay, let's go ahead and put our alert bubble on here so you guys can know. Alert at this area here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at as far as USD CAD. Like I said, I really think that we can get some really good pips on this particular pair. But I want to wait for the pullback. You know, I don't want to hop in it prematurely in this area here, and then this thing decides to give us a pullback and we're in massive drawdown. So definitely want to be patient with everything that we do and let the market actually come to us. Okay. All right. So that's what I have on USD CAD, you guys. I think that's going to be a really good trade that we possibly can take. Let's look at G-Chef. I think I'm going to mark this pair from scratch. Let's see, let me remove a lot of this other stuff. Okay. So as you guys can see, we have, this is our last lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Okay, from a weekly perspective. So if we look at this on a daily, we can see the same thing. High, lower low, lower high, lower low. I didn't say this was our last lower high because if you notice, let me see, lower high, lower low. This could have been a lower high because it actually did break this, but we got an impulse past this area here that gave us the breakdown to another lower low. So to make it easier and not confuse ourselves, you know, I just look at the market from this perspective. I hope that makes sense. So if we're looking at this, let's drop to the 4 hour and see what we have. So 4 hour, we have lower high, lower low, lower high. We have equal lows in this area here. We have equal lows. So let's see. Lower low, lower high, lower low. So this is actually our last lower high, lower low, lower high. Yeah, this is actually our last valid lower high here. And that's on the 4 hour. So we got a 4 hour break of structure. We got this pullback that came back more than 50% on our fibs. And as we can see, we had a demand zone right here. Price wicked into our demand zone. If we drop to the 15-minute and look at price action from here, we can see we had a high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We got a break of structure on the 15-minute right here. We got this break of structure on the 15, and we haven't had a pullback as of yet on the 15. So if we take from this swing high to this, this swing low to this swing high, we're looking for price to possibly pull back within this area here, within our 50% area. So I'll set an alert here just to say G-Chef approaching, I'll say the golden zone. Because right now I don't see a clear POI in this area. The only thing I kind of see is possibly this one here or this one here. So I'll just set an alert before it gets to our 50%. That way we can be mindful as to where price might go. However, I do see an imbalance right in this area here. So we can kind of just be mindful of when price gets down to this area and kind of see what it does. Because what we want to see price give us a staircase down, give us a breaker structure on the 1 minute, retest, and then take that entry. So that's what we want to see. So we'll just, like I said, we'll just be patient and just wait for the market to come to us. We don't want to take any premature moves. Okay. All right, you guys, let's check out gold. Let's check out gold. Good old gold. All right, I'll show you guys what I saw on Sunday, why I actually took the trade that I took. So if you notice on the 4 hour, you know what, before we get into that, let's go back to NFP. Let's look at Friday. Let's look at all of the action that happened on Friday. So on Friday, you guys, we had NFP, I believe it hit, let's see, Friday was the, what was Friday? I can't remember what Friday was. Let's see, Friday was either 8th or, Friday was the 6th. Okay, let's look for the 6th. Yeah, here we go. So this was NFP right here. This candle right here. Look at this. This jump was insane. I think it actually popped off at 7:30. Yeah, this was NFP here. So this one candle here. Oh, what am I doing? So this one candle here was 140 pips. For that one candle when NFP shot off. And so one of the things, you know, it was this candle was extremely fast. I remember looking at this, it literally shot all the way down and then it shot all the way back up. But when you kind of look at this from a big picture perspective to mark this up, basically what the market did at that particular moment is, check this out, you guys. So we had a high, lower low, lower high, and then in this area we had a break of structure. So this was the big picture. That was the 4 hour. But if you look at this on the 1 hour, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We had a break of structure in this area here. Price came down. NFP happened in this area right here. Basically what NFP did, NFP came, wicked into our golden zone. Price came down, gave a fake out, came back up, made traders think that it was actually gonna push to the upside. And so from here, it actually came and closed this imbalance right here. We had an imbalance closure right here in this area right here, wicked the 61.8, and then this thing actually dropped off. But if you look at this from a 4 hour perspective, you can come here, take your fibs from the swing. No, not that. take your fibs from the swing high and the swing low. You can see this thing came up to our 78.6. And from here, when price dropped off, I didn't necessarily catch this, but when price came up to this area here and it started to dip off, this was Sunday here. When price started to dip off and it wicked back into this 50%, I ended up taking an impulse sell. I took a sell right up in this area here, and I think I wrote it down to this liquidity area or this area here. I caught 162 pips or something like that on this particular trade on Sunday night, but it literally just came all the way down. And so this particular pair, it literally came down and closed this liquidity here. So if you would have, let's just say if I would have sat in it all the way to this area here, that was possible 343 pips. But one of the things I think price will do, it'll give us a slight pullback, because ultimately price will probably come down here to close out this this Fibonacci sequence. So we can take a fib from here, see if price will come up to this area, and then possibly give us a dip off in this area or to that 61.8, which was the actual negative 27 on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, but as far as gold, let's go ahead and throw that fib back on there. US 30, I got you covered. Throw this fib back on here and we can actually see exactly what it's gonna do. I'm gonna put an alert right here, and we're gonna go ahead and move on to US 30, you guys. Gold approaching POI. All right, let me throw this bubble on here. $18.70, 16. Okay. All right, you guys, let's look at US 30. I need to remark this pair up because I haven't been on this pair in a while. Wow, look at this, you guys. So check this out. We marked this up some time ago, and we literally said this was our target. This was our liquidity target. I think we marked this up maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, or maybe a month ago or something like that. And we said that this was our ultimate target. And look at this. Price came down and it hit this liquidity zone. It came down because I knew that price needed to take out this liquidity, because this was our last lower low. So we had high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And we were looking for price to take out the liquidity zone, which it did. And so that's a heck of a patience if you stay in US 30. I really don't know nobody who would stay in US 30 that long. I mean, if we kind of look at the projections and how long that actually took to play out, forecast, let's see. It took about almost 2 weeks for that to play out, but it actually did what we thought it was going to do. So we see that it wicked down here and this gave us a lower low. So this is a valid lower low. We don't know if it's going to go a little higher, but we can see that we definitely have rejection in this area. Okay, drop to the 4-hour. Let's see, it's not really giving us that, and we still see, kind of rejection or whatever. So we have this staircase that's extremely small, but if we drop to the 15-minute, we probably can see it a little bit better. Okay, yeah. So check this out. So we have lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And right now we're actually getting a break of structure on the 15-minute, this area right here. So one of the things I'll probably be looking for, this is our last down candle before the up move. And I'm gonna take this entire area right here and mark this as our demand zone. What is this blue line that I have here? Oh, that was our liquidity target. Okay. I'll come back to the 15-minute. So this area here, I see that these wicks up here, and I don't want to negate this. I want to, because I know this can be respected. Price can come down, wick this area here, and then possibly shoot back to the upside. I'm gonna keep my demand zone here, but I'm gonna put my alert right above that other wick. Let me see, US 30 approaching POI. Let me go ahead and notate this. Yeah, I definitely think with this US 30 trade, if this thing comes back and wick this like we expect it to, man, this can be a heck of a trade, you guys. Let's see. Or our fibs on this. Yep, that's within 50%. So I'll definitely be looking for that. But let's look at the potential that we can look at for this particular trade. So we can possibly, our first potential target that we can look at is this area right here. This would be my first short-term target. And this is $32,584. But I think I want to bring it down just slightly. I'll do 580. That's my first potential target that I'll be looking for. But if we're looking at this from a big picture perspective, let's see what we have. If we come over to the daily, so let's just say we're looking for that pullback. So we see that we have this huge area, this huge supply zone here, but that's extremely massive. So I don't really want to look at this area. A bigger confluence for me would probably be this 78.6 area. So I'll mark up the supply zone right here. Right around the 78.6, and I'll bring it down slightly just so it can kind of cover a little bit of this imbalance. And so that's one of the things that I'll be looking at for this particular trade. That's our ultimate, I guess, target as far as our pullback. And so I'll actually put an alert here that says US 30 approaching golden zone or whatever. Mr. Blessed, I got you. US UJ, I got you. That's one of the pairs I definitely want to mark up. Yeah, but that's what I'm looking at for US 30. Tapilo, I hope, man, I hope that I'm saying your name correctly. Tapilo, I hope this helps. I hope this helps with as far as this US 30 markup. Like I said, this is not a pair that I trade often, but the last time we marked this up, I caught a really good sniper entry on this particular pair, and so I'll be looking to do the same thing. So if US 30 give us a nice pullback, I'll definitely be looking to take a US 30 trade on this particular pair and possibly ride this up to this area here. So We'll see exactly what it'll give us, and we'll just be patient and wait for it. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at UJ. UJ. All right, let's check this out. Take off all my markups on this pair. Ooh-wee. UJ was skyrocketing. So let's look at this on a big picture perspective. But we can see UJ was in a downtrend. Low, lower, high. No, not well. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see it now. So we were in an uptrend initially. We had a break of structure here from a weekly perspective. And I'm just trying to get the big picture, Mr. Bless, because I haven't marked this up in a while. Let's see, I'll just do this one here. We had a break of structure to the downside. We had a retest. As you guys can see, price actually came up to this supply zone here, which was mitigated. We got the supply zone right up in this area. Price was mitigated, and then we started to staircase down. Okay, so now we have a high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Let's see, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Here we got equal highs in this area right here, equal lows, but then we started to break through. Lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we had a break of structure in this area here. However, we never ever got that pullback that we were looking for. This thing literally just took off. So we got this break of structure. Let's see something. Yeah, we never ever got that pullback. This thing literally just kept going up. So let's break this down to a smaller time frame to see what we can actually look at. Okay, so we do have market structure on the 4 hour. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay, there we go. All right. So as you can see on the 4 hour, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Let's see if that's a valid higher low. Yep, this is our high. Okay, so let's look at this. So we can say mark up our points, that way we know what's our higher lows and higher highs. Okay, that way I can identify what's my macro structure, higher lows and higher highs. Okay, so now let's drop it down to the hourly. I just want to kind of look and see exactly what we have. So from an hourly perspective, this thing looked like it was doing the most. So we got high. This is definitely our higher low. This thing is doing the most. And then we had a consolidation in this area here, which was a distribution. Yeah, this definitely was a distribution in this area right here. We had resistance lines. We got support lines in this area. So this gave us a distribution, gave us a drop off. Let me see, was this, I don't know what this was. This was on the 4th. This was probably that FOMC. Yeah, this was FOMC at 1 o'clock on last Thursday, I believe it was. We had this large candle. So this was a distribution because it built up and then it built and then it dropped off. And now it's coming back up. This is our markup. So now let's see. Let's drop to the 15-minute. Okay. Higher high, higher low, higher high. We got a break of structure on the 15-minute. Let's see what this pullback was on here. Not quite. Well, actually it did literally wick the 50%. Yeah, wick the 50% and then it dropped off. But I want to see this come up a little bit higher, because if we can see this come up higher, we can get a better entry, because this thing is definitely due for a pullback. I mean, this thing has been going up for a while. Let's see, we can look at this supply zone here. Remove this. Yeah, we can look at the supply zone here, so price can possibly come up to this area. And then we can look at this liquidity area here for our target. We can look for price to take out this liquidity right here. This is our potential target. So if we look at the pip count on that, it's about 92 pips or so. But like I said, we have a lot of room to go. If we come down to the 4-hour, we can look at this liquidity area here as a target. We can definitely look at this area here. And so if we do that from the supply zone down to here, that's about 200 pips. I mean, we get this break of structure. I mean, we got a break of structure on a 15-minute. Come back, hit this here. We can definitely come down and take out that that liquidity area right there. So this is another potential trade that we can look at. Let's see. One of the things I do want to see in this particular area is Wyckoff present right now. Yeah, it is, but it's not clear, so I don't want to necessarily mark it up. Yeah, Mr. Bless, yeah, it's definitely due for a drop. Let's throw some alerts on this pair though. We don't want to miss the opportunity. I want to throw an alert probably right in this area here just to see what it's going to do. UJ approaching POI. We'll throw a bubble right up in this area. Cool. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at for this though, you guys. Yeah, this another nice setup. So if we get these alerts, you guys, like I said, I'll put these markups in our chat. If we get these markups or these alerts go off and we get these potential opportunities, and we got a lot of opportunities that we can look forward to for this week, or even possibly going into next week. But I think the one that I think I really like is probably that US 30, because I mean that US 30, let me go back to that for a second. Because this US 30, I think we have a lot of room to go. And it's still in a down structure. So it actually might just be giving us a pullback right now. And that's something that we want to be mindful of as well. So it's right in this area right here. So like I said, I want to see what it's going to do, because if it comes down here and then give us a breaker structure on the 1 minute to go back up, I'll definitely take it. However, there's another opportunity when you kind of look at this as well, because what price can possibly do, play around within this 78.6 and this 61.8, and then there's opportunity to ride this down to this demand zone. I mean, that's 170 pips easy on US 30. But for those who trade US 30, just make sure you got the capital for it, because the smallest pip count is huge. So for example, man, let me go ahead and put my camera on. So if you taking a let's just say you take a standard lot, a 1.00 with any other pair, that's $10 a pip. If you take a 0.01 on US 30, that's $10 a pip on US 30. So if you take a 1.00 on a US 30, man, that's dang near taking a doggone 100 lot. So you got to make sure you got the capital, because US 30 moves extremely fast. And so if you don't have the capital and you're not taking a sniper entry, your account gonna get blowed just like that. So you just got to be mindful of messing around with US 30. You know what? I didn't even put my alert bubble on here. Hey, you guys, that's pretty much what I got for tonight. You guys have any other pairs that you want to look at? I think we got some nice potentials going into this week. And you know, we already into Monday, looking for Tuesday to come. We only got, a few more days before the action really start popping off, but I think we really do have some really good opportunities, you guys. Yeah, US 30, it's real. That bad boy is real. Like I said, when I did that last video, that really was actually one of my first times actually trading US 30. Like, I don't usually trade US 30, and it was one of the pairs that I always wanted to really study, because gold was one of those pairs that I really broke down and understood what, the changes and everything. But that first trade that I took on US 30 about 2 weeks ago, I had 164 pips. That was the first time that I actually traded US 30. And that bad boy, I took a 0.01 on that particular trade. And I was, it was like 1600, like just like that, and it was a sniper entry. It literally went up, wicked, and that thing shot down. One candle took 15 minutes. It shot down really quick. And so, yeah, just mess around with US 30. You got to be careful. You got to make sure that you catching that wave when it's really coming up. And so let me see some things right quick. If I go to the 15 minute, I want to drop to the 1 minute as well, just to see. Okay, there's nothing really on the 1 minute. Let me see, a 3 minute. Yeah, so this possibly, you guys, I want to mark this part up as well. US 30 possibly can come to this area right here, wick this area down here, and shoot right on up. Or another possibility, it can possibly come down to this area a little further. It can possibly, I'm gonna take this whole entire candle right here. It can possibly come down to this area as well. Which is why I say, you know, when you're dealing with this type of pair, you want to make sure that you get those confirmations. Yeah, that lot size is definitely yeah, that 0.01. You want to make sure that you have those confirmations though, because on the 15 minute, you want to make sure that when it come down and wick one of these areas, if it's in one of these zones, drop to that 1 minute. Drop to that 1 minute, or if you prefer the 5 minute, either one. And then once you see something like this on those time frames, and you get that pullback, you get that break of structure and that pullback, you get that break of structure or pullback on the 1 minute, then that's when you say, okay, I want to go ahead and hop in it. And then your stop loss, where we at? Let's just say you take an entry here. Your stop loss, because you're trading the 1 minute, this is your protected low here. Stop loss there, ride it up to this liquidity area here, or we can take it to that area that we said right here. You know, whatever your tolerance is, you know, you can ride it to the swing high of the area that just broken, or you can ride it to this area here. You know, whichever one that your tolerance level can handle. I mean, because it's 214 pips easy. You know, I mean, I will be happy with that. 214 pips, I get in the market, get out. Or you can ride it up here, take your stop loss, put it in this area here, or you can put a trailing stop on there. You know, probably trail it maybe about, you know, trail it by 20 pips or so. You know, every time it goes up 20 pips, it'll pull up your stop loss, and that way it'll give it a little room to breathe, give it those retracements and things like that. You can ride it like that as well. So it's so many ways that you can play the market with this thing, but with like a US 30 pair, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, my psychology ain't there with US 30. So I will probably, like if I took this trade, I would probably just ride it up to this area here. That's just me. But if I was a US 30 swing trader, then yeah, I would probably take it up here, but you know, but yeah. But hey, you guys, hey, I appreciate you guys hopping on tonight. If there's anything that you guys need, hit me up in the chat. Everybody else, you know, we can communicate in the chat, and you know, keep everybody updated on what's going on. And like I said, we all learn from each other, you guys. We can all learn from each other, get these pips together, and that's what we gonna do, you know. Like I said, I appreciate you guys. I got 2 videos dropping this week, and so once those videos drop, they'll notify everybody within the YouTube notification channel on our Discord. And hey, you guys, that's pretty much all I got. I'll see y'all. Y'all have a great week. I'll talk to y'all later.